Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do a pretty interesting video, and I'm going to do a series of these, and I entitled it Music Trivia. Little interesting facts that just kind of flew under the radar that I found that would be interesting to just acknowledge. And I'm going to give you five. And the first one is Rick James Spacey Love. Now, everybody that knows me knows that Rick James was my idol. And that was my favorite ballad. Came off of the second album. I think it was called the Bustin' Out of L7 Square album. And what's interesting about that song, and it's quite obvious if you really listen to the lyrics, it's about Patti LaBelle. He's, I guess, proclaiming his love for her because back then in this, back in that era, there was the album version, which could have been like 6 minutes long. Then they do the radio version edit, which is about maybe 3 to 4 minutes. It's not the entire composition like on the album. And so most people that didn't buy the album didn't hear the full version. Because at the end, he has this beautiful falsetto, and he say, "I love you." And it's, again, if you really just listen to the lyrics, he mentions her name. He talks about the group she was in by saying, you had two angels by your side and they help you fly. Take me to your stratosphere. It's like, whoa. And what I found really interesting about that is there was never any, interviews as far as the history or the story behind the song. I've read and heard many Rick James interviews, and they never asked him about that song. I've seen many Patti LaBelle interviews. They never asked her about that song. So I found that to be really interesting, because in today's, or in this day and time, if an artist would do something like that and they clearly expressing their emotion for another artist, that would be a story within itself. So I found that to be really interesting, that if you listen to the lyrics, it lays it out. It's not vague, and it's like, what is he really saying or asking? It's quite clear. So I found that to be pretty interesting. The second one is this one. Now, I haven't confirmed this, but I've been told this, and I've got it from reliable sources, so I don't think that it would be something that somebody made up. The song "Get It Up" by The Time, which was written by Prince, it's actually a nod to George Clinton and One Nation Under a Groove. And if you listen to it, it kind of has that same similarity as far as a funky groove with some guys doing some unbelievable solos, And as you know, before Prince passed away, he was a big fan of George Clinton, and they worked together. He listed Parliament Funkadelic George Clinton Clan was one of his many influences, along with Carlos Santana, Jimi Hendrix, and just to name a few, the James Brown guitar players, because most of Prince stuff is kind of, rhythm stuff is derived from the James Brown band, one chord lick thing, the E9 chord, just in the pocket and just, playing one chord. So, number 3, Carly Simon's "You're So Vain." Now, a lot of people originally thought that song was about Mick Jagger, because she dated Mick Jagger also. But it's not about Mick Jagger. It's about Warren Beatty. And Warren Beatty was just a player of his day. Every woman wanted to be with him. And what's interesting, when people initially thought it was Mick Jagger, somebody pointed out, they said, no, it couldn't be Mick Jagger, because guess what? Mick Jagger's singing in the background of the song. So it's like, she wouldn't be singing about a dude just singing on the record with her. So it was about Warren Beatty. Number 4, Sammy Davis Jr., "The Candyman." That was Sammy Davis Jr.'s only #1 hit. And what's interesting is he hated that song. It took his manager 2 years to convince Sammy Davis Jr. to record it. Because Sammy Davis Jr. said, hey, I'm a Las Vegas ballad crooner, balladeer, so why would I want to record some type of kid type of song? So he was quite pissed. But, his manager convinced him to do it, and thank God that he did, because it was a great song, and it was his only #1 hit. Last but not least, Sly and the Family Stone's "Family Affair." Now, what's interesting about that song is, if you really listen to it and go back and listen to it, Sly Stone had the flu when he recorded that song. And he didn't want to do it at that time, but they had booked studio, and it's like, if I don't do it today, it's $1,000 waste, and we got to rebook the studio time. So he went and he recorded it. And when you listen to it, you can tell he's really congested and nasal. But even in spite of that, he did a good job. He still sounded good. So that's music trivia for today. Next time, till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.